And now from McAllen City Hall, a meeting of the McAllen City Commission.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's City Commission meeting. We'll begin with a Pledge of Allegiance, followed by an invocation by Commissioner Jose Pepe Cabeza de Vaca.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today humbled by the opportunity to serve our community in the city of McAllen. We ask for your wisdom, guidance, and peace as we gather for the City Council meeting today. Help us to listen carefully, speak thoughtfully, and act with integrity in the decisions we make for the betterment of our city. Lord, bless the people of McAllen, from our families and neighbors to our business and schools. May we always work towards a community that reflects compassion, cooperation, and justice for all. Give us the strength to face any challenges with courage and perseverance, and may all that we do be pleasing to your sight. We ask for your blessing and protection of our city leaders, our employees, first responders, and all who dedicate their time and efforts for making McAllen a thriving, safe, and welcoming place to be. In your holy name, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And we have a presentation by our Office of Communications, and based on what we see here, I think we took all the awards.
Very good.
Good afternoon. Yes, Mayor, Commissioner, City Manager, and everyone here joining us today in the McAllen City Commission chamber. The Office of Communication recently went to two conferences, national organizations that we are members of, and we came back with all of these and more. We didn't bring all of them, actually. We left about like 10 or 12 back in the office, but we came home with a few first and second and third prizes for the work that we do promoting the city of McAllen. So we'll just let the video tell the story of what we do every day to promote the city of McAllen.
So again, have a great week, and welcome to Charleston.
The City of McAllen Office of Communications received top honors at two recent National Industry Organization conferences this past month. The first recognition came at the National Association of Telecommunication Officers and Advisors, or NATOA, Conference and General Programming Awards ceremony held in Charleston, South Carolina in late August. The City of McAllen Office of Communications received an award of excellence for a public service announcement entitled Grinch en Patrulla en Hidalgo County, which was produced to raise awareness against drinking and driving during the holidays. The team also received 2 second places, 2 third places, and 9 honorable mentions for their creative work. The NATOA Government Programming Award is the largest of its kind, recognizing excellence in broadcast, cable, multimedia, and electronic programming produced by local government entities. This year's competition saw over 1,000 entries submitted.
This is such a great conference for McAllen and really all of Texas to be at. We do so well, but we are competing against some amazing municipalities across the nation, and to be recognized for the work we do that tells the story of McAllen.
After the NATOA conference, the Office of Communications traveled to City County Communicator Marketing Association, or 3CMA, conference and award ceremony held this year in Arlington, Texas. 3CMA had more than 1,100 submissions of work over 38 categories. The most coveted award is the Savvy, which recognizes the best of the best in the country. This year, the City of McAllen Office of Communications received 2 Savvy Awards for marketing and communications. The first Savvy was in the category of Video One-Time Special Programming for the entry McAllen Police Department observes Radio Moment of Silence in memory of fallen officers. And the other Savvy was in the category of Photography Single Image Use for the photo taken when Marine Corporal Maya's remains arrived in McAllen. The MCN team also received a Silver Circle and 5 awards of excellence for McAllen's storytelling videos. The City of McAllen Office of Communications continues to work hard to produce award-winning work for its many communication tools, including MCN 1300, the City of McAllen YouTube channel, and its social media platforms. So keep watching MCN 1300, follow us on social media, and stay tuned for the latest on the City of McAllen.
So thank you all. Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners and City Manager, for allowing us this opportunity to recognize ourselves for the work that we do for the City of McAllen. It's a great team. Everyone was involved in the creation of all of these award-winning entries that ultimately continue to tell the great story of our great City of McAllen. So thank you.
Good job, guys. Congratulations.
Congratulations to everybody. Go.
Want to present it?
Up next is a proclamation for the McAllen Housing Authority. If they can come up to the front, please. You can divide up here if you like. I'd like to first of all thank the commissioners and the executive director at the McAllen Housing Authority for being a great partner of the city for many, many years. And so we want to thank them for the great work that they do to make housing affordable in the city. So it gives me great honor to give the following proclamation. Whereas the McAllen Housing Commission commemorated its 85th anniversary on July 13th, 2024. And whereas the McAllen Housing Commission has an essential mission to provide housing assistance for people with low and moderate incomes since they were established by the City of McAllen in 1939. And whereas they have provided housing assistance in McAllen utilizing traditional programs, public housing and Section 8 housing choice vouchers funded by the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development, where over 1,500 families are currently being assisted under these programs. And whereas the McAllen Housing Commission continues their commitment to assist families in cycling out of subsidized housing through the Family Self-Sufficiency Program and other educational and career advancing opportunities. And whereas the City of McAllen acknowledges and wishes to express its gratitude for the McAllen Housing Commission's community efforts in providing housing assistance to the McAllen community. Now therefore, I, Omar Quintanilla, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of McAllen, Texas, by the virtue and authority vested in me on behalf of the Mayor and City Commission, do hereby proclaim September 23rd, 2024 as McAllen Housing Commission Day. Congratulations.
I promise I'm going to be brief. We have a long meeting today, but I want to thank the Mayor, City Commission, Mayor Pro Tem, City Manager, and all our assistant city managers, and really the entire City of McAllen staff, because we are collaborative in what we do, providing the housing that we provide to our community. It's my distinct honor as board chair to be here today, recognition of the 85 years in service. You're going to see a video that we produced to show a little bit about what we do at the McAllen Housing Commission. I'd like to recognize board members who are here today, starting with Tito Salinas, our vice chair, Mark David Garcia, board member. We have another former board member, should have been here, Ronnie Cruz, but he's en route. I also want to recognize our leadership at the office, Executive Director Rudy Ramirez, Deputy Director Daniel Delgado, and our staff. I want to recognize, of course, our sister agency, like we like to call Bobby Calvillo at Affordable Homes of South Texas, because we are collaborative and we do parallel missions in providing housing to low-income families in our community. So thank you, Bobby, for all you do for us. And last but not least, I mentioned our staff. We have a couple of staff. They're back running the office. Those are the folks that get the job done every day, serving our families and our communities. And I want to recognize the fact that without them, without y'all supporting us, we couldn't do what we're supposed to be doing, which is providing housing. Again, very proud of this stellar organization that was formed by the city, and we have faithfully executed our duties to house our families, the foundation of healthy families. And we look forward to continuing to fulfill this mission and help cycle our families out of subsidized housing as they continue to grow, evolve, get educated, and improve their own lives. And we want to continue to make our community proud, our city proud, as we continue accomplishing our mission, hopefully to the 100th year anniversary. Hope we're all still here for that. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here today for this recognition.
Next, we have Fire Prevention Week. Commissioner Sebi Haddad.
Chief. There you go. Here we go. Now we go. City of McAllen proclamation. The great city of McAllen is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living and visiting our city. Whereas home fires killed more than 2,700 people in the United States in 2022, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States responded to 360,000 home fires, and roughly 3 out of 5 fire deaths happen in homes with either no smoke alarms or with no working smoke alarms. Working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires almost in half. And McAllen residents will make sure their smoke alarms meet the needs of their family members, including those with sensory or physical disabilities. And the 2024 Fire Prevention Week theme, Smoke Alarms, Make Them Work for You, serves to remind us to stay alert and the importance of having working smoke alarms at home. I, Victor Sebi Haddad, City Commissioner of the City of McAllen, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested in me and on behalf of the Mayor and the City Commission, do hereby proclaim October 6th through the 12th, 2024, Fire Prevention Week. Chief?
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, Commissioner. Mayor, Commission, thank you for the opportunity. So if there is something to remember, is just simply smoke alarms do work and smoke alarms do save lives. Right next to me, to the right and to the left, you see all 4 subdivisions of the Fire Marshal's Office being represented, from our inspectors that take care of new construction, to our inspectors that take care of existing buildings, to community risk reduction personnel, and also to investigations. But then there is one aspect, again, that we should not forget about, which is the smoke detectors. Those never take a break as long as you're putting a good working battery on it. Always test them, teach your kids about it, and always practice your drills in the event of a fire. Muchísimas gracias a nombre del Departamento de Bomberos. Y aquí a mi derecha, a mi izquierda, pueden apreciar a las 4 divisiones que representan a la Oficina de Prevención del Departamento de Bomberos, desde construcciones nuevas a construcciones que ya existen, tanto como lo es los procesos de prevención de incendios y también de investigaciones. Pero no hay que olvidarnos de los detectores de humo, que nunca dejan de trabajar, siempre y cuando tengan una batería que esté funcionando correctamente. Entonces, por favor, les enfatizamos que tengan sus detectores de humo en su hogar trabajando, que les enseñen a sus niños cómo funcionan, que los chequen mensualmente y que también hagan sus prácticas de evacuación en casa. Muchísimas gracias por la oportunidad y pues bueno, este día de hoy representa el inicio de los esfuerzos de nuestros bomberos de ir a enseñarles a cientos, si no es que miles de niños en nuestra comunidad lo que viene siendo la prevención de incendios. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you so much. And before we started, if some things look a little bit different, it's Ike's first meeting up here, right next to us. So we want to welcome Ike. Austin, I told him when we first started, Austin, do not mess up. He's over there. And then I also want to give a quick welcome to, we have a new finance director, David Vasquez. Mr. Vasquez? Let's see, are we ready? Item number 1, public hearings.
Mayor, Commissioner, good afternoon. The item that's tabled should remain tabled for this meeting also. No action required.
Item number 2, Mayor, is public hearing on proposed tax rate.
Anybody here? You know, I love it when nobody's around because I think they're okay with us. Nothing? Public hearing, tax rate, anybody? Any comments? Well, the next item. Public hearing on item C, Tres Lagos.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. We have Jeffrey Earl, who's the attorney for the developer, here to present you with the proposed assessments for Tres Lagos for this item, and then later on in the agenda, under 4D, there will be an ordinance to pass it, and he will also give an update later on in the agenda.
Thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Jeffrey Earl. I'm an attorney with Earl & Associates representing the developer. This public hearing relates directly to the ordinance on agenda item 4D, which is the ordinance which would levy assessments on the properties within the Tres Lagos Public Improvement District. The ordinance levies 3 assessments on the properties within Tres Lagos. There's no changes from last year. It's just a requirement that we do this annually. And so the 3 different assessments are, one is a debt service assessment that's not paid by the residents, but it's required to be levied because of the 2016 CFOs that were issued. The second one is a maintenance assessment for maintenance of the playgrounds, parks, common spaces, trails, community center, those kind of things. And then the last one is a technology assessment. And again, just to reiterate, there are no changes or increases to the assessments for this year.
Excellent. Do we have anybody here regarding the item? Anybody regarding the item on Tres Lagos? No, thank you so much. We'll move on. We have consent agenda items A through K. We need to pull into now.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item 3.
Mayor, item 3A is consideration and possible approval of landscape architect for green schoolyards.
Good evening, Mayor and City Commission. On August 15, 2024, the Purchasing and Contracting Department received 7 statements of qualification for a landscape architecture firm for the Schoolyard Forest grant. The scope of services focuses on landscape design for 7 different McAllen Independent School District campuses. Staff recommends authorization to negotiate the scope of services and fee schedule with the top-ranked firm, Hefner Design Team of McAllen, Texas.
Okay. Questions, comments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item B.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commission. The item before you is the consideration of architectural firms and authorization to negotiate scope and fee. Schedule a top-ranked firm for the design of the new Palm Valley Animal Society shelter. The scope of services focuses on the design of the animal facility conceptually, encompassing 24,000 square feet dedicated to animal care. The committee comprised of staff from PVAS, the Office of City Manager, Animal Care Services Department, and the Engineering Department evaluated these SOQs. Attaches a complete scoring summary and criteria for your review. Staff recommends authorization to negotiate the scope of services and fee schedule with the top-ranked firm, Shelter Planners of America of Fair Lawn, Ohio. If negotiations are unsuccessful, staff will cease negotiations with the city manager's approval and initiate negotiations with the next highest ranked firm. And we open it up for any questions.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, I mean, this item, it's very unique in nature, and obviously, to some extent, it's kind of a multi-agency partnership.
Well, at least that's what we're hoping.
That's what we're hoping. Well, PVAS itself as an agency, right? Some of their planning has shifted towards, I believe, moving these design services towards improving the facility that we know to be in off the expressway, I don't remember.
Lori Andrews.
Lori Andrews, and away from the Trenton property. To some extent, that would actually likely reduce the financial obligation by the city of McAllen. But given that Palm Valley is really looking to increase their overall part of the share of the overall project, I think it's right that they might have a say in it. I would really push that we move for interviews of some of these design firms and have, I think, some representatives from Palm Valley as well.
Well,
And then we can have it open.
I guess the issue now becomes, what are we looking at doing? Specifically, what we were looking at before, or now?
Well, this is only for design services, so they, whether it was Trenton or Lori Andrews, was not part of this scope anyway. It was just to pick a firm, or to get to where we have qualified firms ready to choose from. So we could move towards interview process and then also determine which firm would be the best fit for the overall scope of the actual project.
And I'm fine with all of that. The only issue is when we get too involved in issues that we don't know about, and of course, you're talking more about Palm Valley, they should know more about this, but do they know as much as the other architects do? So that's the issue, but it's up to the commission. Because I avoid procurement as much as possible, and I think we all should. But I understand what you're talking
We had
about.
interviews for City Hall.
Exactly, and that's the reason we avoid procurement as much as possible.
Yeah, I understand that.
Do you want to go ahead and do interviews for all these three firms?
But I think what you're talking about is getting Palm Valley to be part of the interviewing process.
I would say a couple of representatives, yes.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's also their money, right? And we're making the decision as somewhat on their behalf.
Who's getting involved?
And they were pretty even. The top 3 or 4 or 5 were pretty even.
Yeah, I would say.
Just a couple of points each.
I think the top 5. That would be my recommendation.
What's the
Well, I
item?
trust your judgment because you've been more
3B.
involved.
Are you suggesting like a workshop with Palm Valley representation, and because that's really the only way? I mean, they're not going to be a part of the voting process. So I mean,
I actually wouldn't see why not.
how do you
I don't know. Like,
propose that?
No, they can't be part of the
They can
voting
provide
here,
input.
but they can
We would-
provide
we would
some
do the
input
vote.
over there.
Okay.
So then
But
I guess.
think their input and presence in hearing out the various firms would help us make a better decision as well.
Mayor, I appreciate your concern about procurement. I actually am right with you. Eduardo, can you kind of give us the members of the committee that were formed that did the scoring and the evaluation of the firms that submitted?
We had the Director of Animal Care Services, we had the Assistant City Manager, Michelle, we had one staff member from engineering. We had Palm Valley brought us one score sheet as part of this as well. I believe there may have been 2, but they scored it as one, the director and someone else.
Okay, so we kind of had varied persons with different backgrounds and looking at it and doing the evaluation. And, you know, I mean, I don't think any of us up here at the dais is going to pretend that we know everything, but I would hate to have to do this like redundant if we've already had persons who are salaried with the city of McAllen, who are trained professionals to look, ask questions, discern, look at the evaluations and score them. I would hate to substitute their judgment because they've already done the work for us. So I'm with you, Mayor, on this one, that I think this is a representation that's made by our experts on this issue. Certainly the fact that PVAS was involved through their own score sheet and that was submitted, I guess, and considered in the total scoring, is that correct, Mr.
That's
Mendoza?
correct, sir.
I don't see there to be a need to have a separate presentation. With all due respect, Commissioner Sevilla, I understand.
Were they involved?
PVAS did provide a scoring sheet for this.
Yeah.
A score sheet that was weighted, how does that work?
Everybody is equally weighted
Okay.
on that. Each scorer is equally weighted.
I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation made by Mr. Mendoza with the top-ranked firm, Shelter Planners of America.
I'll second.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against?
Aye.
Okay, what was that? Okay, all that said, 4, raise your hand. Okay, against?
Ah, Mayor.
So I guess you get to decide.
Yes.
No.
3-3.
It's 3 and 3.
It's 3 and 3.
3 and 3.
Yeah, that's, 3 and 3 is 6.
How are you gonna get to
You're
12?
7. That's why you get paid the big bucks.
I'm 4.
Okay.
Okay, next item.
That's good.
Item 3C is award of contract for the purchase of one 2024 police motorhome Fleetwood Flare.
Mr. Mayor, members of the commission, we are attempting to replace a 29-year-old RV that happened to fall into the McAllen inventory by virtue of award. And for that reason, we're finding alternative ways of funding this particular purchase as opposed to the depreciation fund. So we were able to find the money necessary through our forfeiture asset fund. And we propose to award the contract to the sole bidder thus far, Ancira Motorhomes, for $122,566 and 8 cents, that is, in terms of the total cost for 2024 police motorhome, 31-foot Fleetwood Flare Model 29M.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item 3D.
Mayor, item 3D is consideration and approval of change order number 5 and final reconciliation for Dove Avenue roadway drainage improvements.
Mayor and Commission, this item presents a final reconciliation with adjustments to overruns and underruns of quantities for the item in the contract documents for Dove Avenue roadway and drainage improvements. We've provided a summary of the overruns and underruns, and then there's a more detailed scope in the back of your packet. The engineer and city staff recommend approval of change order number 5 and final, which reflects a deduction of $73,470 and adds 131 calendar days to the contract, resulting in a final contract amount of $3,247,063.74 and a revised contract time of 527 calendar days, and we open it up for any questions.
Questions, comments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
So
All in
what was
favor?
the I'm sorry, what was the substance of change order 5? Just the deduct?
So there was some add and there was some deduct. In the end, it was a total, when you combine those, it was an overall deduct
Oh, I see.
for the contract.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We have a motion and a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item 3E.
Mayor, item 3 is award of architectural design service contract for McAllen Public Safety Building Evidence Room Storage.
We previously brought this item to negotiate. The scope of work consists of retrofitting approximately 4,472 square feet of existing enclosed area under the public safety building garage. Staff negotiated an architectural design fee of $32,846.04, or 8% of the estimated construction cost. Staff recommends award of the architectural design services contract to Negrete Kohler Architects of Austin, Texas, in the amount of $32,846.04, and we open it up for questions.
Questions?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item 3F.
Mayor, item 3F is consideration and approval of change order number 7 and final for McAllen Hidalgo International Bridge pedestrian improvements.
Mayor and Commission, this item reconciles the final contract quantities and amounts. The balance of $3,875 remains on contract allowances line item at the projected completion. Staff recommends, Milnet Architects and staff recommend approval of change order number 7 and final of a deduction amount of $3,875 with no additional calendar days and a final contract amount of $1,262,936.09 and a final contract time of 437 calendar days. And we open it up for any questions.
Questions?
Well, the only thing that I'd like to say is the original contract was for 270 days and it took 437 days to do it, just for our reference.
But I take it we had good reasons.
Yes, sir. We brought the other change orders. Those change orders had the time that we needed added on that. And then after we did a final change order several months back, there was no more delays.
I hear a motion to approve.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item 3G.
Mayor, item 3G is consideration approval to reimburse the developer of El Dorado at Thousand Oaks 1, 2, 3 Phase 1 subdivision.
As part of the subdivision process, the developer of Red Rock Real Estate Development Group Ltd. of El Dorado at Thousand Oaks Phase 1, 2, and 3 is required to convey and detain stormwater from the drainage area that also encompasses the adjacent subdivision, the Vineyards Estate subdivision, to a detention pond within El Dorado at Thousand Oaks Phase 1, 2, and 3. The Vineyards Estate subdivision submitted an escrow in the amount of $58,586 for drainage excavation to convey excess runoff for their development. The pro rata amount corresponding to the proposed improvements by the developer of El Dorado at Thousand Oaks. Staff reviewed the cost estimate for the public improvements proposed by El Dorado at Thousand Oaks and determined that the amount of $58,586 or 50% of the final construction cost for said improvements was reasonable. Staff recommends approval of the request, and we open it up for any questions.
It's a reimbursement, and they already had done, the Vineyards had already done some of it, and then now it was finished, and you, engineerly, you agree with it.
So they actually have spent more money than this,
They
but
spent
we're
more.
only allowed to reimburse them what was put in escrow.
So motion
And
to
so
approve.
they're not asking for above, just the amount that was escrowed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item H is contract with the county for the election, and I think this is a must. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Mayor, if we can wait and discuss this after executive session, please.
Number H? Okay.
Yes. I withdraw my motion.
And I will allow you to withdraw it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, item 4A.
Mayor, item 4A is roll call vote on adoption of an ordinance approving and adopting the City of McAllen annual budget for fiscal year 24-25.
Okay, excellent. Do I hear a motion? I
So
think we've
moved.
been through this.
Second.
Okay, all there? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Then we have, motion passes. Item B, a roll call vote on ordinance adopting the McAllen City property tax rate, and the rate will be,
The rate will be
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
0.4499.
It'll be 0.449989.
so we drop it a little bit.
Yes, we did. It is
Excellent.
lower than last year's rate, and it is lower than the voter approval rate, but because it is higher than the no new revenue rate, we had to hold a public hearing.
Which I don't like the way it sounds.
I understand, yeah.
But we reduce the rate. Excellent.
Yes.
Do we have to make the motion
Yeah.
exactly?
Just-
read it the way it's
Okay.
First, if I can ask Ms. Grimes to please read the allocation between maintenance operations and debt services for the record.
Yes. So the taxing unit authorized to pay both M&O and debt service must adopt the M&O rate and the INS individually, which we're doing in the ordinance. This year's proposed rate of 0.449989 per hundred of assessed valuation is allocated at the rate of 0.412235 for maintenance and operations and 0.037754 for debt services.
And Mayor and Commission, the language that's required in the motion is included in the ordinance on the first page and the cover page.
It says over here, and I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.449989, which is effective 1.25% increase in the tax rate.
That
This
is
is your proposed, right?
That's
This is your
correct.
proposed rate of 0.449989 is allocated at the rate of 0.412235 per 100 for maintenance and operations and 0.037754 for debt services.
Second.
And even though it's probably real confusing to everybody, it's a good thing for us. There's being a first, second, and this is also a
Roll call.
Roll call.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes, and thank you all very much, our departments, our staff, everybody, you guys are amazing.
This is the
you.
third year in a row.
Third or
right?
fourth?
Third year?
Fourth.
Fourth year in a row with a tax decrease in the property.
I always
taxes.
say we have great staff, great commission. Item number C.
Mayor, item 4C is providing for the abandonment of a portion of a utility easement being .061 of an acre out of Tract A, Cherryland Business Park, Lot 12.
We don't need it.
No, sir.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item D.
Mayor, item 4D is discussion and possible action on an ordinance approving and adopting the Tres Lagos Public Improvement District 2425 Service and Assessment Plan.
And that's on the public hearing issue.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? Okay, there was nobody. Do you have any questions, comments?
I think the investment has been good, continued growth, and it's very good for our city in the future. Well, I say few, but in some years from now, all of that will become 100% ad valorem tax revenues coming into the city and to the county and to the school district in that area, and it's something that has been very, very good for us in the city to have that another way of an alternative way of living and growth, future growth, both in education, future parks, and all that area. So it's a very good investment that this city has took on close to 10 years from now ago. So, yeah, I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item 5A.
Mayor, item 5A is consideration of possible action to adopt a resolution providing for the appointment and confirmation of members to the Tres Lagos Public Improvement District Board of Directors.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission. This resolution reappoints John Rhodes to position number 2 of the Tres Lagos Public Improvement District for an additional 2-year term beginning September 12th, 2024 and ending September 12th, 2026. Staff recommends approval.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item B.
Mayor, item 5B is a resolution authorizing submission of a grant application to the Bureau of Reclamation, WaterSmart, desalinization construction projects under the WIN Act for
Do I hear a
fiscal year
motion to
24.
approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item C.
Mark practice, so we're waiting for
Yeah,
you.
move that page.
It's a submission of a grant, so how much info can we get?
I wrote 3 pages, but not.
Thank you, Mark.
Item C.
Resolution authorizing the submission of a grant application to the Public Library Association under the 2425
Same
PLA
thing, it's
Digital Literacy
submission of a
Workshop.
grant. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries, but we do appreciate y'all's attendance. Item D.
Mayor, item 5D is a resolution approving the city's investment policy and strategy as presented.
Hold on a second. I don't think he still knows enough. Just kidding, go for it.
Mayor and Commissioners, as part of the Public Funds Investment Act, Chapter 2256 of the Government Code, the city is to define, adopt, and review the investment policy on an annual basis. The current policy was reviewed by the Audit and Investment Committee on September the 12th of this month. There are no changes to the Government Code 2256, and there are no changes recommended by the Audit and Investment Committee. Staff is recommending approval of this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, Mr. Vasquez.
Motion passes.
Welcome.
6A.
Mayor Pro Tem Manager's Report, Advisory Board appointments.
Mayor and City Commission, we have a couple of appointments that need to be made. Mayor Villalobos, you have a couple of vacancies on the Ambulance Evaluation Committee and on the Disability Board and on Traffic Commission. Commissioner Aguirre, you have a vacancy on the Ambulance Board. Commissioner Zamora, you appointed William McPherson to the Keep McAllen Beautiful Board. And Commissioner Castillo, you are nominating Nervik Mahinta to the Development Corporation Board. And Austin, I believe on that one, it's got to be by the entire commission for Development Board. So
I didn't hear you. What was that?
Nervik Mahinta to the Development Corporation Board. Elva Cerda has termed out. And then I do have a vacancy also on the Disability Board for Commissioner Haddad. And just a reminder, those that have turned out as per ordinance, those members will continue serving until you've made nominations and appointed somebody. So they'll continue. And at this time, if you have any questions, if not, I'll take a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
6B, consideration of board served by elected officials.
Right, on that one, it's just, we're just cleaning house. We've got several boards where former city manager served, and I just need to review that with you all and see if you're okay with appointing a city attorney, or if city attorney will be wanting any alternates to fill those vacancies.
You're referring to the city manager, right?
Right,
To-
yes.
To replace the former city manager on the boards he served.
Sorry.
I will forever be a lawyer. I appreciate the compliment.
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item C.
Mayor, item 6C is an update on the annual tax investment reinvestment zone number 1, Tres Lagos Public Improvement District.
Hello again, for the record, Jeffrey Earl, attorney with Earl & Associates, attorney for the developer. So I've got an annual update to tell you all about the tax increment reinvestment zone number 1. So the annual update is required by Chapter 311 of Texas Tax Code. There's no action required for this. It's just an annual update. We're required to give the county an update as well, so we're working on scheduling that. And I believe the city has already filed its report to the comptroller under their new reporting system. Here's the master plan of the community and the zone. You can see here the iconic entrance of Tres Lagos off of Ware Road. It's no longer a plan, but a reality now, and it's building out quite nicely. Here's an aerial from 2021. If you pay attention to the back there, you can see on this next slide, it's being built out a lot more, and we're starting to have commercial development as well. Here's some highlight features of the community. So the first phase of the commercial component, right off the entrance of Ware Road, is called the Shops at Tres Lagos. 3 of the 4 commercial buildings have been constructed, and the 4th is under construction now. Here's a list of some of those tenants in the commercial structures. So South Texas Health System has a clinic there, Fork to Fit, Reset Coffee, Subway, Esperanza Homes Design Studio, San Jacinto Title Services, and Dona Lula. Esperanza Homes Design Studio is by the exclusive builder Esperanza Homes. So it allows for a unique, fully semi-customizable experience with a lot of options for home buyers to ensure everyone has their own personal touch on every home. The North Park has been getting a lot of use. Residents can stay active and build memories with their families there. The food truck program has been going very well, allowing for restaurants and food trucks to really be showcased in the community. The lakes have remained full and are continuing to be an aesthetic hallmark of the community and the zone. The amphitheater's been getting a lot of use. Community center pool continues to be used and in good repair, as well as the fitness center. The farmers market has been a really good success with over 35 participating vendors now, participating monthly. And this commission did a fantastic job securing Texas A&M campus, providing for more higher education options in the city. In fact, it's doing super well, and the nursing school, A&M has decided to move forward with a nursing school, and they've gone vertical with that. IDEA remains to do well, and is it still at full enrollment? Housing options continue to increase within the zone. Cascada is a first move-up neighborhood with planned 330 homes. It's 75% build out. Aquilina is a second move-up neighborhood with 240 lots planned, and there's currently 40 homes built. Belterra is an exciting new part of the zone. It's a rental community, single-family rentals. There's 120 lots built and 30 finished homes, and that continues to grow. Here's some photos of that. So Las Brisas is the first neighborhood planned to the east of Ware Road within the zone. It'll be for entry-level housing. Total of 450 lots planned, and phase 1 is currently under construction. So back when the zone was created, the projected value of today was supposed to be around $356 million. The base value when it was created was around $1 million, and according to the Hidalgo County Appraisal District, the assessed value is $422 million roughly, so the captured assessed value is about $421 million. So this has an overperformance of $66 million, which is great. It's doing very well. The total development cost to date is $113 million, of which $65 million has been requested from the TERS, leaving a remaining balance to be spent on debt service and other improvements of $167 million. And just because of the foresight and thoughtful planning of this commission, we now have a thriving community at Tres Lagos that rivals, if not exceeds, that of any city in America. So I thank you for your vision on that. TERS is healthy, performing well, and again, there's no action requested for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, I think you're up.
Yes, Mayor. Annual update on tax investment increment reinvestment zone number 2A.
Who's that?
Eduardo.
Eduardo.
Mayor and Commission, the City of McAllen's tax increment reinvestment zone number 2 is generally situated along Interstate 2 between Taylor Road and Business 83. The city has currently funded 10 capital improvement projects within the TERS 2A boundary that consists of various roadways and drainage infrastructure improvements. Seven of those projects focus on introducing new drainage infrastructure to address localized flooding and improve overall stormwater drainage. 2 projects target transportation mobility and propose to expanding existing roadways. The last project does both. It has both drainage and transportation included. The projects are at various stages of development within the expenditures to date totaling $1,067,164.68. One project, all the projects are listed in your packet. One project I wanted to highlight that is furthest along is the El Rancho Drainage Improvement Project, which is your first one in the packet. Construction documents are complete and are advertising for construction. Activity is anticipated to commence on January 2025 and will run through early 2026. All other projects in your packet are in design or in preliminary schematic phase, and there are updates. And we open it up for any questions if you have a particular question to any of the projects. If not, I appreciate it.
Questions?
No questions.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Okay, item E.
Nominating a candidate to the Hidalgo County Appraisal District Board of Directors. Mayor, I think right now we're served by Albert Cardenas. I think he has served us well. The board can consider casting our votes in favor of Mr.
Are
Cardenas.
we nominating right now or casting votes already?
Nominating.
Nominating. Y'all okay with Albert?
Nominate Albert Cardenas.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. F.
Immigration and Respite Center report, Mayor?
I bet you it's gonna be the same as last time.
Same, Mayor, very little change. 114 is the average per day over the last 2 weeks, and we got 105 per day for the last 6 weeks average.
Any questions?
Nope.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your
Future agenda items.
Yes, I'd like to add a workshop with the McAllen Boys and Growth Club. They have a new project, acquisition of a school that they're in the process of doing, and I'd like for them to give us an update and see how we can kind of work together on projects, not only that project, but future projects.
Anybody else? And probably in that workshop, maybe we can also get some information on EB5. And also, we need to look at assisting to fund the Heritage Center and the museum. So let's discuss those items. Anything else? Okay, next item is
Executive session, Mayor.
executive session. We'll recess into executive session. Item 4 first.
Yes.
Item 7D, Mayor.
Austin, let's reconvene, but then
item
let's take
4.
the open item first.
4.
For Mayor, I recommend for item 4.
Are we back on? We're on? Okay, excellent. Okay, let's go back to item number 4.
So I believe it's item 3H, Mayor.
3H, that's correct.
Is there a motion?
Well, actually, this is consideration possible approval election administration. This is to contract for the issue with the ground game Texas, with the proposition.
That's right, Mayor. As a result of petition that the city received, we were required to call a charter amendment election for the general election date in November. This is an item to execute a contract or enter into a contract with the county for administration of that contract.
And this is, actually, I'm generally not very disappointed with our constituents in this situation. I think I may be a little bit, because I think there was a lot of people that signed this petition without necessarily knowing what it is. And so it triggered an election on our part, something that we are mandated to do now, and we can't even run ourselves. So because of what happened with those signatures from a group from Austin, not even from here, now we have to expend almost $250,000 to contract with the county to do this. And that's precisely one of the reasons that I was hoping it wouldn't, but I guess there was enough people to trigger it, and we have to now. But $250,000 for this.
Yes, Mayor.
Which I think is very unnecessary.
Very unnecessary.
But unfortunately, there was enough people that signed, and now we have an election, so that people can once again keep on doing this year after year after year at their option, in a sense, if they get enough signatures. So, what are the wishes of the commission?
Motion to approve.
We have no choice.
And this is subject to the, as discussed in executive
Yes.
session.
Right.
Yes. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Thank you. Now we go into executive session items.
7A, Austin.
Yes. Mayor, item 7A was legal issues, no action required related to the employment benefit options. Mayor, with regards to item 7B, consideration of economic development matters, no action is required. With regards to item 7C, I recommend that the board entertain a motion that the city attorney proceed as discussed in executive session.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
For item 7D, I recommend that the board entertain a motion to instruct the city manager and city attorney's office to proceed as discussed in executive session.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. That's all we have?
That's all we have.
There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.
Regular City Commission meetings are held on the second and fourth Monday of each month. Meetings are rebroadcast on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays on the McAllen Cable Network.